Welcome back to Teniola TV, and today we've got a big one.
I've been speaking to myself on an inbox, for years, and I've just walked down the strip and seen them, and that's the power of Cannes.
Before Cannes begins, and before the crowd lands, and before Lion Sport makes its official debut, we're sitting down with two of the people that have helped bring it to life. There's been a lot of talk already. Why Lion Sport? And why now? And why has Cannes decided this is the right time to bring sport into the conversation? So before the festival starts and the noise kicks in, we're going straight to the source. So I'm joined by Sophie, Godfrey, and Kenny Annan-Jonathan. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure.
This is serious, man. Exclusive business right now, you know. I'm honoured. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And obviously we were talking off camera, Sophie, basically about the origin story, you know. What's my Cannes origin story? So I want to hear Kenny's Cannes origin story to start with. Like, what brought you to Cannes? What was your first year? How long have you been going for?
Interesting. So I my first Cannes experience was probably about 7, 8 years ago. And I was brought out by a media company which is based stateside with my client, Mikel Antonio, obviously, you know. And funny enough, you know, that was my first experience. They had brought us out to kind of build relationships and network. They wanted a few engagements from myself and Mikel. And I think it was just great, the experience, understanding who was there, what was the need for this place that I'd never heard of. I'd never heard of the festival within itself. So being able to engage and understand who is there and how I can build my network was important to me. So I just continued to go for a number of years. And, you know, I guess, you know, it's brought us to here, you know, meeting, as I say, my partner in crime, Sophie.
You do say partner in crime.
There we go. Right. And you know, just excited to kind of sit on this side now and really building out with Sophie and what she had really birthed, to understand what had been missing when I was a delegate, to now also helping to build that infrastructure internally.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Do you want to go into yours or should I go into mine?
I want to hear yours.
I think yours is probably going to be long-winded as well.
No, let's do yours.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So my first year in Cannes was last year, basically. I came with, it's my first year, last year. So I came with a business partner of mine, Kola Oluwole. He owns a production house called Afri Media. So his wife works in Evelyn Oluwole. She actually works for Cannes now as well. Wow. So they basically came out to, I think she's been Cannes before. So he got me to come with him last year. He got press accreditation and said that we should go down, do some content, basically, you know, cover the whole festival. So I said, why not? So obviously I'm a presenter by trade. This is what I do. Let's create some cool content, basically, because he felt like it's not documented well enough, basically, because it's like a need to know. Like you said, when you first went, you was like, I've never heard of this at all. Right. So when I came last year, blown away, man. It was just mental. I was like, I couldn't believe that all of this is going on in a part of the world and nobody knows. So close to home. Yeah, so close to home as well. It's not even that far from the UK. So then met Sophie in the hallway randomly as well. Cue the clip, guys. Cue the clip.
You never know who you're going to meet in Cannes.
You never ever know who you're going to meet.
You should be professional at all times.
Yes.
I think that's what the clip will show.
Yeah, the clip shows that she was very professional when I met her. But yeah, and then
Cannes is the power of good people, though.
No, it is.
The way I got connected to Kenny was I just wrote on my LinkedIn, I'm building this thing. Mm-hmm. I really need someone to help me build it. And a guy who just knew of Kenny messaged me and said, you've got to meet this guy. He is the guy you're looking for. You have to. And that came from Cannes as well, right?
Yeah, came from Cannes.
That's mad. This is what I'm saying. And it's like, I was just saying as well off camera, I went to, BET had a party as well. And I went to that party and I met a guy called Joe Lamb there. He works for Sidemen. And he's like, oh, Teniola, what are you doing here? I said, oh, I've just come to my first year. What are you doing? I'm here the same way you're here, basically. Laughed a little bit. But we kept the connection up. We spoke and ended up landing a gig with Sky Sports, basically, off the back of having a conversation with him. So it was like, I know I'm here every year now, no matter what. And I have to spread the word about this because you don't know who you're going to meet. Like, and the sort of people that are at Cannes, which we will get into, is mental.
But that's also a good lesson, right? Because Cannes is what you make of it.
Yes, it is.
You have to run your follow-ups. You have to be diligent. You have to make sure that you keep in contact with the people that you meet. Because, you can go and just, you know, have an unproductive time if you wanted to.
Exactly.
It's all about how you follow up, how you're diligent, how you make the most of it, and keep those communities. I feel like you're really good at that. You gather people everywhere you go. Every time I get on a call at the moment, I'll say, "Oh, and this is Kenny," and they humble me and say, "We know."
We know who he is.
No, honestly, like, again, I think strengths and weaknesses and how we kind of work it in that space. But I think even when we're talking about Can, I think the important thing when you do go is understanding the value that is in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because, like, it probably just sounds like a script at this point, but where can you go, within a calendar year where everyone that you've watched, followed their journeys, the decision makers, the investors, the CEOs, CMOs, the agencies, the brands, the individuals are going to be in one place at one time. Yeah. There are people that literally I've been speaking to myself on an inbox, for years, and I've just walked down the strip and seen them. And it's like, I've been trying to get hold of you for like the last 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And that's the power of Can, because, there's beautiful weather. You're walking down by the side of the beach. Everyone's great because they're there for an invested interest. I think it also helps with like that engagement of trying to connect with people. Like, it's like the perfect scenery and
the sun's out, everyone's naturally happy.
Out,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely sets the tone for a good meeting, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. It makes the conversation easier. So let's be honest, guys. Yeah.
Wow.
What is more stressful, building Can or surviving Can?
I feel like we're bad people to ask, because I don't think I really experience stress in the same way as lots of people do. I thrive in the stress.
Yeah.
So I find it to be both the build and the doing really enjoyable. I kind of like to think of Can as like my birthday party.
Everyone's coming.
So I don't find it stressful at all, either part.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not trying to sound diplomatic. I think genuinely, it's an exciting thing to see birthed and grow, but attending it equally is exciting. Do you know what I mean? Because there's so much, like, even as we're building it, I'm excited to see it happen because I want to be there. I'm there anyway, but I want to be there. So yeah, I don't want to be diplomatic, but that's just the honest answer.
Okay, fair enough. So Can is one of those places everyone say that they're going to, but what is Can like when you're the ones building it?
Ooh, that's a really good question. We sit at a slightly different section in that we're not building the entire festival. Our focus currently and solely is sport.
Right.
And I think the important part about when you're building something is to think about who your core customer is. Can is ultimately a platform for brands. We are in service of brands, have been in service of brands for the last 70 years. So ultimately, we are here to help brands navigate change. So if you take sport as an example, it's an incredibly confusing place for a brand to know exactly where to invest at the moment. The changing creators, athletes becoming creators in their own right. You've got leagues and clubs and rights holders all rapidly becoming commercial entities and learning how to act as brands in their own right. So it's an incredibly confusing place to try and navigate. For us, our job is to demystify that and create an environment that puts clarity to the noise. So where we're building and where our focus is to make sure that the product that we're creating services brands and the industry that they operate within. And that is true across the entire festival. If you look at the creator ecosystem that we've built over the last 3 years, creators are at the heart of that because they are ultimately the business entity that we are helping navigate the festival. If you look at the festival at large, it's all in service of brands and how we can help them navigate that change and support them and kind of be the strategist to the CMO is our role.
Because now you see a lot of creators, they're literally their own walking business. They do everything themselves, basically. So it's like, how do you navigate? How do you even have conversations with people that are higher up or the people behind the scenes as well? So I think it's really, really, really important.
To help the leaders of these businesses who grew up not as digital natives. They didn't grow up with their phone in their hand, with TikTok and Instagram being the center of the business universe. You know, if you are a very successful creator, you can run an entire business straight off your Instagram, straight off your TikTok shop. If you have been working for a major brand for 30 years, it's an enormous shift in the industry. So helping businesses to navigate that change and feel really informed is really important because it's the future of advertising.
Yeah.
And I think even just to add, I think when you look at it from, let's just say from a creator standpoint or the delegates, the people that are going to be attending, usually what happens is the mindset is that we are going there to look for this because we don't have access. But equally, you have to also understand this is an educational period for the brands too. So it services both ways.
Yeah.
You're not just going there and thinking where these small creators and these big brands are so unobtainable. Like you're saying, like Sophie was saying, it's like they're walking advertisements, they're businesses. And really it's about us creating the right environment for those, you know, the right timing for those two things to connect. You know, it's not a one-way street. It's got to work on both sides. And I think that is the beautiful thing. It's like, again, just creating an environment where the opportunity is met with the right talent or the right individual. And yeah, it's just a breeding hub for opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
It's an entire marketplace of the ecosystem, and we have the privilege and ability to bring it together. I'm constantly astounded that this industry existed, and I wish I'd known about it when I was 16 and trying to work out what I was going to do with my life. And I feel like our role continues to be to make that more available and to continue to help more people show up to Cannes and find their place, because it's incredibly difficult to navigate.
100%. I guess when I first went last year, if I wasn't so taken back by everything, I probably wouldn't be having this conversation. I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now talking to you guys as well, because it's like I felt such a need and an urge to let everybody know how big this is, how massive it is, that it's like, nah, this is amazing for a whole set. You could be standing next to the CEO of Adidas, like in America as well, not even the UK. It could be the CEO. It's just like, it's mind blowing. You can't even put it into words on what actually goes on, you know. But what's one thing that happens at Cannes that's complete nonsense, that people think happens at Cannes that's complete nonsense?
Chilling.
Yeah.
I think people think that it's like chilling on a yacht, or like, I'm having like a quiet coffee on the croissant.
Yeah.
There is no chill. Cannes is like
Busy.
wall to wall business. It is.
Especially
if you're not
serious about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think in the last few years, the biggest change I've seen is people genuinely approaching it with such a different mindset. It is a full week, wall to wall meetings. What session are you going to see? How are you optimizing your time? It is the place where if you don't have a plan, I think you feel the most overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's surrounded by people who've got a Cannes strategy, and they've built that Cannes strategy, and everything that's happening is aligned with that. So I think there's nowhere near the moments of pause that people think that there is.
No.
Yeah, I honestly, I second that.
Yeah.
Like, anyone that knows me, for sure, and I've been telling people, I've become like this kind of evangelist, like, just on my own take.
Yeah.
But I say it meaning, again, people are taken back by the amount of things that's happening, the brands that are there, but just the beautiful scenery. So again, I always tell people, there's probably like 2 or 3 ways to kind of do Cannes, in my eyes, right? From my past experience. There's those that come and they treat it as a good time, right? But they're not there for really work. They'll go, they'll use it to network, but you could have stayed in London and done that. And then they'll go on a yacht, call it networking, but really and truly they're just there to enjoy themselves. You've got other people that will stick to the schedule on the programming, which is great, but again, there's so much things happening. How do you dial in and program what is needed? And then I guess maybe for some more of the more experienced people that have been there, understanding that you have structure, but you have to also leave a bit of room to be fluid. Meaning that you can have this whole plan set out, and then you meet someone that you want, that you need to get in a meeting with, and they'll be like, do you know what, I'm going to meet you in the next hour at a restaurant somewhere because we need to have a coffee. So it's just about seeing what works for you. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why it brings back to a perfect example of how I got the Sky Sports gig. I met him at a BET party. Like, I would never have expected that interaction would have happened at a party. But even at parties, these things are happening as well. It's like, I could have met him the next day for lunch. And some people, even when they're going out to eat and it looks like they're just going out to eat, it's not just a conversation. It might be that they're networking with the person.
You've got to be always on, got to have that elevator pitch. You've got to be ready.
Exactly.
Because you'll be in the coffee queue and someone will be like, what do you do?
You've
got to be ready.
Yeah, you've got to be ready to have your answer.
Yeah.
Do you believe the festival's documented well enough?
I think the biggest challenge with that is that Cannes Lions is quite, if you know, you know. If you're in the know, you are locked in, you are evangelizing like Kenny, you get it, you completely understand it. And I think the reason why we need to have these products like Lions Creators, like Lions B2B, Lions Sport, is because we have to help people who are newer to this part of the industry, to the power of advertising, to ultimately the fact that creativity drives growth.
Mm-hmm.
We have to help these newer market segments understand that and lock into it and feel supported in how they show up. So I think that is our work towards making the festival more documented. I think that the rise of creators and creators coming to Cannes is going to massively help that. I saw a load of videos last year of like my Cannes Lions journey, or like Alex L did a get ready for Cannes Lions with me, and I think that helps people start to understand like, what is this random thing in the south of France, like what is it for, and then you get that wide-eyed moment of realizing what it is. So I think it's well documented if you're in the right pools of information, but I think we continue to work really hard to try and open it up for people who don't know yet.
Yeah, I think, you know, just like Sophie said, like some of these products are really new, and you know, I think making sure that they are documented in the right way is more important than just having them documented. So I think when people go there, they have a good experience, they document them themselves. I think that's beautiful. You know, Creators is what, 3 years old? It's extremely new to Cannes, and having a real dedicated like pillar under, you know, the infrastructure of what it represents. So I think give it a bit of grace also.
Yeah, it will evolve.
Yeah, like it's growing and evolving. There's still like pain points that are being built out, but even with the success of like the Creators over the last 3 years, you know, in year 3, things are growing extremely well. We see these things from behind the scenes and the rumblings in conversation, even with people like yourself who, again, which is great because you sit on both sides between sport and creators. Yeah. But I think the documentation, when you say intentionally by us, I think everything has its time and moments, and we want to try and make sure that we get that right rather than just having it documented. You know, there's a lot more to dynamics to think about, you know, when you look at the bigger picture of the whole festival. There's 100%. A lot going on.
100%. So speaking of the festival, Sophie, what is one word you would use to describe Cannes this year?
I would say curated. I think the festival, as we've talked about, is like you really need a strategy to make it successful. You need to have your Cannes plan. You need to know your business goals and how you're going to hit it. And this year, we're probably at the most curated of experiences that we've ever done. So we've got a CEO forum, a CMO forum, we have the B2B summit, we have the Lions Insight Summit, we have Lions Sport, we have Lions Creators. So we've worked really hard to start curating these groups at the festival where you can kind of find your tribe. We just now we're a few years into our startup pass. We now have a challenger pass, which is the pass that sits between a classic, so a full pass for the festival, and a startup. So it's for those people that are in between those years. They're all flying. You can now come to Cannes and find your tribe much more easily than you would have done 2 or 3 years ago. And I think that's probably my word.
And Kenny, what is one word you would use to describe Lions Sport before anyone has even seen it?
I'm a bit of a rule breaker, you know. The one word's not enough.
Yeah?
Because I don't want to do it a disservice, personally.
Okay.
Genuinely, I'm trying to stick within the boundaries and be good here, but it's tough. I can't do it in one word.
You can't do it in one word?
I'm actually really trying to figure out. I can't do it in one word. I might need a little bit more.
You need a little bit more? 4.
Let's see how many. One not to miss.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, I think the reason why I really stand on my take for this is because I'm not, for anyone that knows of me, knows what I do and my journey with, you know, with Cannes Lion as a delegate and just turning up, I don't need to sell this. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to stand there and sell it to you because you would have heard me speak about it. So everything that I would have loved to see is now being built. I get to see who's in the room. Can't give you no exclusives yet. I get to see who's in the room, the interest for who wants to be in the room. I get to, sit with, the rest of the team, and, myself and Sophie get to kind of really curate the conversations that are happening. I know from being a speaker to also listening to panels what has been missing and what I don't really take to, and get to solve those issues. Do you know what I mean? So when I say it's one not to miss, like, I think, collectively, like as a team, we've really tried to do the due diligence of hearing those passion points, some of those pain points, and really kind of mold it into this kind of new thing that kind of services, the community. I guess a community that doesn't really, that isn't really serviced. How many times have you gone to a panel talk or whatever it is, and you kind of leave there feeling like, okay, I didn't really get much from it.
Nothing, yeah.
I think the difference here when I say it's one not to miss is because the wealth of knowledge that is shared in terms of what you will receive, and then also the people that are in the room, is where the key value is for me. And I would hate to be one of those people that after it's happened, I was kind of umming and ahhing and wanting to be there, but for some reason I didn't. And then I find out what's happened, and I'll be like, I should have been there, and now I've got to wait a whole calendar year to be there again. I think you just got to be there.
One not to miss. I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. So, Cannes has always been where culture, commerce, and creativity meets. So why is it now? Why is Lion Sport? Why is it the right time for Lion Sport?
So, sports folks have been showing up in Cannes for a number of years, and Sport Beach has done an incredible job of giving them a home. The content at Sport Beach is insanely good. It is the Super Bowl of creativity.
Yeah.
And where we felt we could really provide support and to bring even more sports marketers to Cannes is to look at, if Sport Beach is your Super Bowl, what is the commentary box that sits behind it? What is the narratives, the playbooks, the masterclasses? How do you, small club in Europe or really ambitious brand new volleyball league, how do you look at what's happening there, and what is your journey to get yourself there?
That's deep.
And we intend to build a product and a room that brings together all of the power players to help navigate that and bring people on that journey. So we've partnered with Sport Beach this year. If you buy a pass for Lion Sport, you are automatically pre-registered to access Sport Beach as well. So we've built in partnership.
Okay.
And we have designed the entire room to look like the commentary box that sits behind the Sport Beach stage. Sport Beach is built like a pitch, and we are built like a commentary box, and the two sit together really beautifully. The insight behind this is that we had a number of sports folks coming to Cannes, and they were coming every year, and they were returning every single year. And when you look at the people that were coming, within their leadership team were people who had either won Cannes Lions or were from advertising. And then we had a bunch of people who were coming and were coming once, coming on their own, weren't coming back. And so we spoke to them. And when speaking to them, they were saying that the festival was really hard to navigate. They didn't feel like there was a space for them. They didn't know lots of people within the ad industry. They didn't have execs who were, if you know, you know. So we have built that forum for them. We're building this environment to provide a private and intentional space to have those conversations, crucially with roundtables, with networking breaks. We aren't doing wall-to-wall panels. The forum is meant to provide that moment for them to meet. And the real insight as to why now is that sport is exploding. The change of athletes becoming creators in their own right. I think the stat is that Ronaldo has more followers on his Instagram than all of the Premier League clubs combined.
Yeah.
So the amount of power that these athletes are now wielding, I don't want to say rise of women's sports is here, it's happening, but the immense opportunity within women's sports, the change in how content is being viewed, the second screen, and the enormous amount of investment that is coming from businesses like Redbird and CVC into these clubs, There's an enormous opportunity for these clubs to rapidly commercialise and to win these brand dollars. But for brands, it is still a really confusing place to play. And right now, that is where all of those conversations are happening, and they are happening in Cannes, but they're happening sporadically. And so we had this immense opportunity to bring it together, and that is why now it is the year for it. And every time we speak to someone who's thinking about coming or has decided to come, they're saying like, this couldn't be better timing for me for my job.
To understand the system and the ecosystem a bit more, basically, and everyone, like we've been saying this whole conversation, everyone being in the same place.
Yeah.
You're not going to get anything like it. No, that's a really, really good answer. Was there a moment where you realised sport was too big to keep sitting on the sidelines at Cannes?
I think, for me, I too big to sit on, like 100%. It's like sport is like one of the biggest universal languages in the world. That crossovers into so many different things. So I think like Sophie's explanation of what the intentions are with Canine Sport, with
kind of touched on it.
Yeah, like she kind of touched on it, but just understanding the value of, listen, we have the people that come every year, and what's happened is like, again, since the inception of Sport Beach, they've had a place, right? And there's certain types of conversations that go there. Their program, again, is absolutely amazing. But we know that there's still so much more life and energy around sport that it needs to have another home, right? Whereby all those conversations can live and just continue to grow. Otherwise, what happens is you get people that come to that will come every year and probably will just end up doing their own thing. Because, we've spoken about, with what, we're doing and our partners within Sport Beach and Stagwell. But like even just the programming throughout the whole week is amazing when it comes to sports. There's brands that are doing activations. There'll be a set of dinners and networking moments. And all of those things kind of are then centered around those pivotal conversations that happen during the event. So 100%, I think it was becoming too big of a question to not be answered.
Yes.
And luckily, Sophie answered.
And then Kenny answered my phone call.
I think you guys have both touched on the next three questions, to be honest. What gap is Lions Sport filling? I think we've touched on that already. What does Lions Sport unlock that did not exist before? A hub, like you said, basically a home for, Sports Beach or the Super Bowl. Sports Beach or the Super Bowl. And then Lions Sport is, how do you get to the Super Bowl, basically? And then is this just for brands in sport, or is this for brands that want to understand where the culture's moving? And that's just yes. From what you said,
it's exactly that.
Yeah.
When we looked at the work that was being entered, when we say work, it basically means advertising campaigns that are being entered into the Cannes Lions Awards.
Yeah.
When you look within the entertainment line for sport, the winning work was exceptional. It's doing exactly what you just described. It is transcending culture. It is moving at the speed of culture. It's tapping into authentic fandom. Really incredible campaigns. A really good example is a campaign from a football club called Celta Vigo, where they created a new anthem for their 100 years, and it's sung in the traditional Galician language, and they use traditional singers with traditional instruments, and it is the most incredible campaign. And it won in 2024. And it's from a small club with a marketing team of 2. And those are the stories that need to be told.
Yeah.
If you are a brand, it can feel incredibly inspiring to see a Nike campaign. But it's Nike. Of course it was great. They've got a marketing team of X. They work with Wyden and Kennedy. They've got some of the best creatives in the world. Right. And I think it can sometimes feel quite distant and quite difficult to emulate. Of course they could do that. They're the NFL. But I wanted to bring together some of those stories that are incredibly powerful and done on a really much smaller scale, but have exponential results. The results from that particular campaign, they quadrupled their membership. They're a 12,000 person club.
Wow.
And they quadrupled their membership overnight. They now have a membership wait list because the campaign was so powerful. And if you look at that, and then you look at kind of the hygiene marketing within sport, which is like front of shirt sponsorship, maybe it's stadium sponsorship, a lot of that work doesn't have the opportunity to transcend culture because it can be quite transactional, and it is the bread and butter. It's what's needed to continue for the clubs to run and continue to create the experiences that fans want. But I think if I could put down sort of one ambition for brands coming to Lion Sport, and they don't have to be invested in sport to be able to come, it's about lighting that creative fire in your belly to do more, to create bigger, to dream of campaigns that sit even further outside of your comfort zone. And really the only way to do that is to sit in a room with all the other people that have that ambition and then show what good looks like. And that's where our commentary box work has to come in.
And you know, I think again, like when it comes to like cultural marketing, that's kind of like where my heart sits, right? I think.
No, I'm laughing.
Why?
Because my next question,
Yeah.
is everyone says sport is culture, but what does that mean in business terms?
I'm reminded.
Yeah. That's why I was laughing. Because I was like,
okay. What did I do?
Answer that one.
No, but it's like I guess it segues between both, right? But remember, I spoke about sports being like a universal language.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest campaigns are not directly in sports. They are things that speak to the community and the audiences that enjoy sports. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I always say, like, you use sports as a vehicle to tell stories. And through that lens comes music, fashion, gaming, influencers, like everything that just kind of makes up the bigger picture. But from a cultural standpoint, what I think brands should understand, especially when it comes to coming places like Cannes and understanding the value, the take-home value that they get, is knowing that I also believe we are in an era where there is power still within those niches and more smaller companies. You know, again, we've got all the big names and the big brands, just as Sophie had mentioned, but you're getting like these really small niche agencies that have like a specific skill set, you know, winning these campaigns against the big boys now.
Yeah.
So, you know, and look, we're still in the day and age where, you know, Nike is still obviously where they are, but On and Hoka are still in the same conversation. It doesn't change the power dynamics, but what it means is there's new players being entered into the game. And what happens is it forces the bigger boys to still look, because everyone's fighting for attention.
You know what it is as well? I feel like Instagram, TikTok has created a level playing field.
Yeah, of course.
Like, you can grow your platforms yourself organically. There's nothing that's stopping you from growing. So these smaller brands are being able to elevate as well, because it's eyes at the end of the day. It's the algorithm.
But then also you got to look at data sometimes.
Exactly.
Like, data is such a rich currency, right? And a lot of the time, the big boys, again, they can have the data because they're in it. But to pay to play, one of the biggest things now is like the people have a voice.
Yes.
So if they don't like something, they're going to tell you. Do you know what I mean? So that barrier to entry, where it would have been so far before, you can start a run club and then gain some sort of traction and build your community, and you know, collect the data, and then what you can do is apply it and amplify it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think there's learning factors for the big and the small when it comes to like that cultural development, for sure.
It's so mad that you touch on that. I keep remembering stuff that happened in Cannes. I was waiting to go into the TikTok. Sorry, Cannes. Brilliant. Sorry. I keep remembering stuff that happened in Cannes. No, you should do it every single time. So I was about to go into the TikTok activation, and I got talking to a guy behind me, and he was talking about data, and he said, "Oh, data's king. Data's king." He said, "How many times do you go on your phone and it asks you a question and you just press yes without even looking?"
Right.
And I was like, wow. Just that little piece. And it was like, exactly, you press yes all the time. And that data, you pressing yes, it goes to somebody who then says, "I've got 1 million people that have said yes to this. You need to pay me," or however they're going to use that data. So data is more than money, basically, I think.
100%. It's like, okay, look, if you wanted to, there's no point me going to you and saying, "Do you want chicken if you're a vegan?"
Yeah.
So, close to Sophie.
Yeah, the evils now.
But unless I've asked you, I wouldn't know that.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
But the difference is, if I've asked you something that, I mean, if I'm presenting you something that I haven't asked, there's a 50-50 chance I could be either right or wrong in my approach. But then how you respond to me is based on the information I've got, right?
Yeah.
So this is why I say mailing lists and stuff like that is extremely important, because, you know, people collect data because they want to know who they are talking to.
Yep.
And the information that you give allows them to service you, your life, your business, whatever it may be, in the right way, rather than filtering out, you know, what you do like and you don't like. It's just like, do you know, on the first go, here it is. Do you know what I mean? And that's why data is important, because if you have the information, you understand what the people want.
100%.
One of the sessions that we've curated this year for Lion Sport is around the work that IBM Sports did with Wimbledon to help them to deliver intense like personalization within their app experience when their customers are coming to the app to navigate Wimbledon. And it's an incredible story of how you can use like data and insight to better both your product, okay, with the Wimbledon experience, but also the fan experience when they can't be there. There's obviously a huge amount of people who follow Wimbledon who can't necessarily be in the grounds. And I think it's that kind of thing to provide personalization at a stadium scale is really difficult. So we're trying to bring some of those stories that really show like own your data, because it's that is going to deliver you the experience.
What separates a good sports partnership from one people care about?
The one that understands the people. I think that's the main thing. No, I think that's the main thing. I think what happens is sometimes you get brands that just hit and hope.
Yes.
And all they do is like they're shouting in like to this hollow chamber. Yeah. Because you've got a bunch of people that think that they're right, saying, I think this will be great, but they haven't collected any
data.
There we go. But when you have, you know, ears to the ground, or you're doing the groundwork, and you get to understand, you know, again, what the people want, I think they're the ones that make for the best campaigns, because they hit your heart, they touch emotional points, they speak to the communities that I guess who they intend to speak to. And I think that's just probably more so what I think would just makes a good campaign. There are ones that are extremely shallow because they're just hitting top line points. But when you can kind of really encompass it around moments that speak to people for whatever reasons, for me, they're the best things. Invested interest.
Relatable. Has to be relatable
100%.
to the community and the people you're trying to serve.
Definitely.
100%. Why do some brands still treat sport like sponsorship instead of storytelling?
Because I believe in sport we have a copy and paste issue. I believe people, the gatekeepers. Well, I think more so there are people that are very scared to collaborate with I guess how quick times have moved, and understanding now, whereas before, as I said, the barrier to entry was a lot further. So there was organizations, agencies that sat within a certain space, but because of legacy, they always held, you know, the quickest move when it came to winning contracts and understanding. But now, I guess, as I said, through the evolution of sports industry, there's so many different ways to kind of approach it and attack it. The issue is some people are scared to be innovative.
Yeah.
I had a question that was thrown to me at a panel talk about 2 weeks ago, and I do believe they was trying to catch me out. It was just someone trying to be smart.
Yeah.
And they was saying, is it risky working with like newer agencies and influencers? And I said, actually, I think it's riskier working with betting brands and alcohol brands.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because arguably, and again, it's up for debate, but I think sometimes it's just how you see through the lens of what you're looking at. Do you know what I mean? You know, we've had conversations about betting brands being front of shirt sponsors, but then athletes aren't allowed to bet, and then it's ruined lives. It's like, where do we sit with it?
Yeah.
So again, it's like being able to be closer to the ground and saying, okay, there are influencers or cultural commentators or people that will sit within a non-traditional space or have taken not the organic route. How can we work with those people for fresh ideas, also lean into their communities and their access points to grow what we already have? And I think they make for the best, you know, the best things. I think that's just all it is.
The other part is like where people look for inspiration. I think there's a real habit within the sports ecosystem, especially the people I've spoken to, where inspiration comes from what are the other clubs and what are the other players and what the other partnerships doing within that sport. So football will look within football, and there is an enormous opportunity to help these very busy, time poor individuals to look outside of their sport and look cross-discipline. So like within Lion Sport, for instance, we are platforming FIFA, the NBA, NFL, you've got the 100 cricket, you've got Australian Open, Wimbledon. We're looking across all of the different sports opportunities and like what are the learnings from each one. Because if you look at F1, they've done an incredible job of taking that product and geocloning it across the world. That has amazing learnings for if you're running a new golf league or you are looking to build out your internationalization if you're the NBA. There are these enormous learnings, but it's difficult to get that inspiration if you're always looking within just that one sport that you work in.
Yeah.
And what might be incredible in one sport and what is like the very top standard might be like bang ordinary in another ecosystem. So it's about also getting that inspiration, and that is what Cannes is for.
Cannes has always been seen as the place for creativity, but is it now becoming something much bigger?
I think what creativity means has changed. I think that before, creativity used to pseudo mean advertising.
Yeah.
And now you look at the different groups that are showing up. The opportunity with creators coming to Cannes is this incredible explosion of what it actually means to advertise and how you tap into culture. So I think that's done an incredible job. The founders and the individuals that are bringing businesses to market based off what you were talking about, like TikTok Shop and Instagram and just setting up their own Shopify, like the barrier to entry is lower. So I think creativity can spread so much further than potentially it was perceived to before. I also don't know if that is a massive change or if us calling it out has just made it a lot more obvious. Creators have been coming to Cannes for 5+ years.
Okay.
The athletes have been coming to Cannes for 5+ years. We are just creating now dedicated places for them to be and to thrive and to make that so much easier and to give people a reason to come back every year. So I think what creativity means hasn't necessarily changed, but how creativity is showing up is different.
Okay. So I'm thinking, have we answered the next question or we haven't? Are we watching Cannes evolve from a creative festival into a cultural marketplace?
I think Cannes is B2B Coachella. It is music meets entertainment meets culture meets advertising.
Yes.
And realistically, if advertising just means how do you get your product to market, the marketplace for how you do that is now so different. And so Cannes looks so different. Cannes Lions is now the place where you can show up and you can watch Dave Grohl at Spotify, but you can also sit down and watch Serena Williams on the main stage, and you can also listen to the UN talk about how to keep women in sport. It's Davos meets Coachella meets like the corporate world.
Yeah, you see Kai Cenat as well. It's mental.
A few years ago, and it's going to sound so random, I think I was at TikTok. I got invited to go there. And
humble brag.
No.
I was invited.
She was on the other side. That's why. She has the privilege, I don't. She had the privilege of being there, I wasn't.
Wow.
No, but do you know what the most random thing is? I remember sitting there watching a performance. I had no idea it was Tyler. But like Tyler before Tyler.
Yeah.
And it was so funny to actually see, you know, like how the crowd responded there. People wasn't as much. This is when Water just came out.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, so when you're mentioning what this representation looks like as a whole, right? I think the crazy thing is that, again, like even the birth of certain things that are happening at Cannes is so much greater than we can probably encapsulate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But Sophie's right. It is like a boiling pot of so much things. You can go there now and literally as a company, you can probably cover most, if not all, of your pillars of what your company offerings are. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you look at marketing and advertising, but there is so much more.
What does the future of Cannes look like?
That's a good question.
Confidential. You'll have to tune into this time
Next
year.
episode. There we go.
Join us next time.
But can I throw a question at you?
Oh wow, okay, yeah, go on.
For someone who's come for the first, you went for the first time
Last year,
right? I know you've kind of lightly touched upon it. What's made you want to come back? And also, what are you looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Lions Sport the most.
Okay.
Thank you.
Obviously, because of what I do in my background, and obviously you guys, and having a little part to play in it as well. Early days. Just looking forward to the people I can meet again this year. Like, you never know where or what part of your journey. I think, like I said off camera as well to Sophie, is that I've kind of been on both sides of, like, the business side of things and the creator side, and as a presenter, it's like I'm a business entity within myself, sort of thing. It's like one day I could be at Sports Direct, interviewing a Man United footballer, or they could send me some football boots and I'm having to do some advert. You have to create adverts yourself because that's how big the landscape is now. Companies will just send you products and you're having to create stuff yourself. It's like, how do I want to become a broadcaster as well. How do I navigate, talking to brands and having that bigger conversation and being in this space with those sort of people? So it's like navigating the corporate side of things, but at the same time still being myself and still, showing up as Teniola Time, the semi-professional footballer that's played for #United and Bay Tees and, now playing for SC Dons. It's like I'm that character online, and when I score goals, I'll tap my wrist, but then I also need to be able to, be in those rooms and have those big conversations and be able to negotiate things myself, and be around those people, and even go into like marketing, because I understand the market as well and how things should work within the space because of what I do with Social Construct, founder of that company, basically trying to get more young people into construction, but through the power of social media. So it's like all my skills that I've learned over the years, I'm literally trying to put it all into one as well, and you're seeing all these companies that come, they're all there. And they have one person that does all those things that I'm talking about. So how do I become better at all those things?
Right.
Is by being around those people. So that's the big thing for me, 100%. And
they do say you should always surround yourself with people who are better than you.
Better than you, exactly.
This is why.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why it's been so difficult for me to even have a manager, for instance, because I'm in a weird space. I've been working with brands for so many years that when someone comes in, you might almost benefit more off me than me benefiting off you.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? So it's always been difficult to navigate having somebody look after me, for instance, So it's just, that's the space I'm trying to navigate in now. I'm just trying to use all my skills that I've learned over the years to just take it to the next level.
Oh, interesting. Me, Sorry, I was just collecting data.
Yeah. Collecting data.
See what I've done there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Good to know. But it's definitely good to know. Because outside of knowing you, also, everyone's experience is different.
Exactly, yeah.
And I think it's important, again, because we're having this conversation, which is great, but there's a reason why you, one, wanting to have a conversation around this.
Yeah.
Number two, why you are coming back for a second year. Yeah. And number three, why you think it's important to also let other people know off of your own back why it's important to be here. The same way I did.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So, but just good to know, honestly.
Yeah. And I think as well, just to add, it's like you say, like you touched on earlier, the story needs to be told in the right way as well. It's not just, get somebody that... It's because I feel like because of what I've done and I'm kind of the right person to tell the story, because it's like I'm a trusted source from both sides, basically.
There we
also,
go.
To meet your community where they're at, because there are some incredible people who have been doing work in Cannes for a number of years.
Yeah.
Like, there's a wonderful man called Andre Gray, who is now the CMO at Overtime. He has been doing some work with the Maison Foundation to bring people to Cannes via a scholarship every year. And it's important to bring your community with you.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Like, for people who look and sound like you and who have come from the same area as you, to see you going to do this is so important. Like I said to you off camera, I arrived in advertising. I didn't know anyone who worked here. I didn't know anyone who was even doing a job that sounded even this airy-fairy.
Yeah.
I feel a huge responsibility to now go back to people who look and sound like me, who have had similar experiences to me, and say to them, you too could work in this crazy industry and get paid to make ads, which sounds like a made up thing, but really it's real.
Yeah, it's real, yeah.
And I think the ability, you know, as well for both of you to then go to your communities and be like, look at this thing that we've built and look at what we would be able to do if more people who were like us came. You know, that is so incredibly important.
That's the power, yeah.
For sure.
There's the power in that. Last question. What role do you want Lions Sport to play?
She birthed it, so I think it's only right.
5 years from now. I think the right thing is 5 years from now, Lion Sport is not a standalone thing. It's in the absolute fibre of every part of the festival, and sport is showing up in every single aspect, and every second main stage is a sports athlete or a sports pro speaker. I think that's probably the answer, rather than it being like its own secretive spin-off event. I think it's that it's in the mainstream, same as creators. Like, I think there's looking 5 years forward, Cannes Lions, the conversation is maybe it's all being chaired by Kai Cenat, Alex L, maybe Kenny. You know, it's like the festival is then at the helm from a thought leadership perspective is the people who were sitting on the fringes. You know, the sports stars and the creators are part of the main part. And I think that's probably inevitable.
100%. 100%. So before we go, guys, obviously we've got some quick fire questions.
Whoa, okay.
Let's go. Let's go.
Sport or entertainment?
Entertainment.
Sport.
Sport, okay. Panel or party?
Panel. For me.
Panel.
Professional. Panel as well, yeah.
Panel for me.
I bet, yeah. Early flight or late networking?
Late networking.
Late networking.
Late networking.
Yeah.
Late networking, then an early flight.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with that.
Best can survival essentials?
Ooh. Water.
2 pairs of shoes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's a lot of walking, man.
That is hot.
It's hot and a lot of walking.
2 pairs of shoes. That's great.
Yeah.
I know a girl that says she's coming and she only wears heels. I said, I can't wait
Mental.
for you. It's her first time. I said, I can't
Mental.
wait for you to come out there.
She's wearing heels. It's her first time.
She only wears heels. You're never going to catch me in training. Okay, you'll see.
Yeah.
You see.
Coffee or cocktails?
Coffee.
Cocktails.
That's good. I thought he was going to be...
I'm like, can I put alcohol in my coffee? That's my answer.
Trainers or loafers?
Trainers.
Trainers all day long.
All day.
WhatsApp or email?
WhatsApp. Ideally a WhatsApp voice note.
Yeah. I
Ideally
guess,
on 2 times speed.
Yeah. Listen.
I heard that's not good for your brain though.
It probably isn't, but I say Sophie's
always on-
mind works like that. So that's
got a tough
double
job.
speed is probably
A normal
the
speed.
normal speed.
Yeah, if you're sending me a voice note, I'm listening on 2 times.
Oh my god. Okay, who's more likely to still be working at midnight?
That's
That's why I said that when I saw that. Yeah, when we was talking about that in the cafe.
No, that
That's
isn't.
mad.
I'm more likely to consistently be working at midnight, but your hours are way more sporadic.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
sometimes it's 3 a.m., sometimes
Yeah,
it's just
it
9
might
a.m.
be.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Sophie is go.
Okay.
So,
Because of the alcohol in my coffee.
Okay, the person everyone should try and speak to at Cannes.
Ooh, that's a big question.
Honestly, probably you, because I feel like you're just going to be connecting
Ah.
everyone. Like
That's a big
you've built the program. You know all the speakers. You're the one who's like ultimately actually built
That's
it.
why she's my partner in crime, and I did not pay her to say this.
I think side of stage, you just grab him and be like, hey, do you happen to know if there's anyone who does this? Like, do you know this person? The ultimate connector, Kenny.
Oh,
I think you paid, man. That was too
I
good.
must have
That was
paid.
too
I
good.
must have paid. But,
Day after Cannes, I just send my invoice.
yeah. Thank you, Sophie.
The most overused word at Cannes.
At the festival, networking.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Yeah.
Exclusive.
Happy hour.
Happy
Let's
hour.
grab
There can
some
only be
time.
so many happy hours.
Well, let's grab some time.
Yeah.
What makes a great panel? One word.
Women.
Women. You say women? Okay. Go on.
It's quick fire.
Yeah.
Insight.
Insight. Okay. What makes a bad panel?
Try not to say men.
You would have went the other way around.
What makes a bad panel? Too many people. Too much PR. Like too much party line. You know?
You said one word as well.
Yeah.
Gosh, you're kidding me, man. Copy and paste. That's one word. I tried.
Copy and pipe and paste.
But yeah, and I just meant like when everyone just says these diplomatic things that just sound right to everyone else.
Yeah.
If I sit in one more panel that's like, you should bring creators in earlier in the brief.
Ugh.
Obviously.
Yeah.
They're creators. They're creative.
Exactly. Bigger flex, yeah? Front row at a keynote or backstage at a live session?
Oh, backstage.
Backstage.
I think so. To sit front row at a keynote is great. I don't know how much of a flex it is. I think being stage side is a bit of a flex.
Yeah.
I'll be where Kenny is.
We'll be backstage.
One athlete you trust to build a brand?
Ooh, who do I trust to build a brand?
And I don't want to hear David Beckham. I don't want to hear Cristiano Ronaldo. No one that's already done it. One that hasn't built one yet.
Oh, that hasn't built one yet?
Yeah, I think that's a better question. One that hasn't built one yet that could reach the likes of, you know, your David Beckhams and them sort of players.
Gosh, what's his name? Was playing for Juventus, plays for Team USA. His dad, Timothy Weah.
That's a good one, you know.
Can I tell you why?
Go on.
Is because everyone goes for glitz and glamour and visibility, right?
Yeah.
Amazing story.
Yeah.
His dad.
Yeah.
Was it Marseille they played for? I can't remember, but following his dad's legacy, they've done the front cover.
Yeah.
His dad's like, I think, in some presidential status now within the country. So his backstory is great. Playing top flight football, presence in game and outside, absolutely amazing. I think he's got a lot to offer profile wise, but you can see that there's a business sentiment that he has too. And I think for me, they're the kind of like small key values that I look for in people. Then there's obviously always going to be easier ones that you can pick. But like for me, he's someone that you could look at and be like, if targeted right, he could be a really big brand.
So now we've got a little bit of a fun finish, yeah? Who's more likely to miss breakfast in Cannes, Sophie or Kenny?
Sophie, because she's running around.
I don't eat breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast.
Oh.
So we're not doing breakfast.
I tell you what though, who's more likely to be eating a packet of Frazzles at 9 a.m?
She's outed me.
Oh no!
The man lives on Frazzles.
Fraz, I can't believe it, man.
I know. Sorry.
Who's better under pressure?
Ooh. I don't know. It depends on how you see it, but I think
you, because you're so much kinder. Like you are.
No, I think that's why I said it's different. I think how we approach pressure is very different. But I would say Sophie is still actually very efficient under pressure. It's not like you feel pressure and you implode. I think she actually cranks up the workload under pressure.
I am best.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For me, I'm probably still just calm under pressure.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a problem. How do we fix it?
Okay. It's a little bit too friendly. Who would survive longer with no phone in Cannes?
Me. 100% me.
I think Sophie.
I would rather have no phone. I don't have any social media. Yeah. I'm like, I'm off the grid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kenny is so far on the grid, he is the grid.
Oh my gosh. Keep in mind, I've actually...
Definitely me.
Yeah.
But I've actually been off social media for about 3 months. I deactivated my account.
Oh, that's good, man.
Thank you, Sophie.
Wow.
I
always say if I didn't do what I done, I wouldn't be on socials, man.
I won't. Funny enough, I actually am not a huge fan of social media.
Yeah.
Look, for what I have, I've only had an account a year after the Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, yeah.
And I've been on social media for the presence for years.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of it personally.
Who would win a 30-second pitch challenge?
Ooh.
I think it depends what we're pitching
Yeah,
for.
I was just going to say, what's the angle?
Because I'll go toe for toe. Give us something. I think we're both like insanely competitive.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's why sport has been so fun. Is because like, I think the talent that lives within the sports industry is insane because the people who typically work in sport either used to or currently play sport and therefore are nuts competitive.
Right.
So I think like would go for toe on something like that.
Like I said, it just depends on what the angle is, but 100%.
Test us in Cannes, like bring us a
There we
pitch.
go.
We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll win.
100%.
I'd love to.
I'd win.
I'll win.
Who's more likely to steal the mic?
Yeah.
No, Sophie. Sophie, 100%.
It took you so long to convince me to do this.
I know, but still. I'm actually happy to sit back and watch everything unfold.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a journey so far, man. A beautiful journey. So
that brings us to the end
look at that.
of this exclusive interview. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to
having us,
Thank you for having
take
us.
this interview. Obviously, shout out to all my followers and everyone in my community. I want you all to come Cannes because it's amazing. Look at the products as well. The branding is on point.
Your JD Sports.
Yeah, exactly. So the branding's on point. But guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, and sharing. Where can we find you guys, Kenny and Sophie?
Where can we find that?
You actually can't find me.
LinkedIn.
Anywhere. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You can find us at Canline Sport. We will link it in the description. And you can drop us an email at sport@canlines.com.
There we go.
And hopefully we'll see you guys in June. In Cannes,
should
south
see
of
you in
France.
June,
Yeah, we
for
should
sure.
See you there.
sunny side of the globe.
Yeah, that's it.